All right, we've looked at checking variable types. We've looked at different data types or variable types. We know about numbers, booleans, strings, arrays, things like that. But occasionally you're going to want to do this thing called typecasting. So if you have, for example, variable age is equal to 30, and you want this to be a number, well, currently this is a string. So let's do console.log type of age, and it says it's a string. But it's actually a number, it just has quotations around it. So what we can do is this thing called typecasting, where basically we take a particular variable and we try to very forcefully turn it into a different type of variable. So for instance, age, we could typecast this as a number by typing number with a capital N and then age. And if we refresh this, it now says it's a number. So that's how we would typecast a number. Now, where this gets important is, let's say you're asking for someone's age. So var age is equal to prompt your age is, and let's do console.log type of age. And we're gonna see here, I'm gonna type in 30 and it's going to say it's a string. Well, we typed in a number, we didn't type in a string, but because it doesn't know what you're going to put in, letters or numbers or true or false. It just assumes that it's going to be a string. So if we type in true, it's still a string. But what we can do is we can typecast this now. So we can say age is equal to number, age. And when we do this, this will work. However, there's a little caveat here. When we try to do this again, and let's type the word, I'll just put my name, Caleb. It says it's still a number. That's cool, but what is that number? Let's type in age. It says nan. This is another JavaScript data type. N-A-N means not a number. It's not a number. It doesn't know what to do with it. And if we refresh our page and let's just type in 1, 2, 3, and let's check the age in here. It says 1, 2, 3. So it's either going to work or it's not going to work. And so you have to really know what your data is supposed to be. If you're asking for someone's age, you can always say, is the age actually a number? And so now we can actually try to test this. We can say, if age, alert, you have a proper number. Let's go ahead and give this a shot. So let's type in Caleb, and that's not going to work for me, right? But what if we did 30? It says you have a proper number. And that's because this number actually turned out to be a proper number. And so when we were learning about Booleans, basically any number in JavaScript that is not the number 0 is true. In some other languages, it could be the opposite, but in JavaScript, unless it is explicitly 0, it is always considered true. Nan is considered false. It's not a number. But if you give it any other number, it's true. So that works out pretty nicely. So now we can say we have a proper number in here, and we can detect if it's an actual number. Okay, so now we have a proper number. So now what we can do is we can actually detect if the number is something. Now, we haven't got into more comparison operators yet, and this is a little bit of a sneak preview into the next lesson, but we could say if the age is greater than or equal to 18, console.log, you can vote. So now this is going to ask me for my age. I'm going to put an age in. It's going to cast it as a number. It's going to say, is that actually a number? Oh, it is actually a number. Alert that you have a proper number. And then it's going to say, hey, if your age is over the number of 18, you can vote. And so it says you have a proper number, and sure enough, you can vote, and it also console logs the type of age, which is a number. We can also typecast the other way. It doesn't have to be from a string to a number. We could go from a number to a string. So let's say var age is equal to a string. Nope, that's the wrong way. Var age is a number of 30, and we wanted to say, actually, the age is going to be a string. Let's force this to be a string, and console.log, let's put the age in there, and the type of age. And aha, it's a string now. And the nice thing about that is because it is now a string, we can do age.length. We can see that there are 2 characters in there, whereas with a number, we weren't able to do that before. And so there are benefits to typecasting. We can also do this with like Booleans and things like that as well. So let's try this. Let's say var is cat is equal to, it's a string, but let's go ahead and cast this as a Boolean. So is cat is equal to a Boolean of is cat. So we're just overwriting itself with itself as a Boolean. Let's see what happens here. Let's copy this down and uncomment that. And let's change age to is cat. Look at that. It's actually true. It understood that true as a word could actually be confirmed as true as a Boolean. And so now we can say if is cat or if is not a cat. Okay, and let's do one more in here. Let's do var course is equal to JS for beginners. Now we know that this is a string already because, well, we declared it as a string as soon as it had spaces and we put quotations around it. But let's say we want to turn this into an array. What we could do is course is equal to array of course. So now when I refresh the page and we do course, aha, look at that. It is now an array. It only has one item in it. It really only has the one indice or index rather, but it is an array. And so now we could do, for example, course.length and get how many items are in here. Well, there's only the one, which is not the same as getting the length of a string, which would be over 10, whatever that number is going to be. And actually we could do this, course 0.length. It's 16. And so we can typecast into basically any other data type in JavaScript. All we have to do is say, hey, this is a Boolean, hey, this is a string, hey, this is an array, or hey, this is a number. And as we learn more data types, we can create new ones as well. And so basically, this is how we cast variables. And that's really all there is to it. And it really helps you when you're using certain properties or methods or trying to figure out how to work with particular data types. Again, this is becoming more and more relevant as we get through this course, and it becomes more and more relevant in modern day JavaScript. So it is good to know, even if you don't use it every day right now, you will eventually end up using it quite a bit down the road.